Good evening, everyone. It is such a pleasure to see everyone here this evening as our spring comes into full roaring momentum, and so are we. It feels like everyone here has got a lot to discuss this evening. I'm very excited to see everyone on here. We've got a great turnout this evening, and I want to welcome everyone, including the many, many new names that I'm seeing on here this evening. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I truly appreciate you joining me in this free psychic hour that I do every month. You guys are just absolutely awesome. And it's wonderful to join you here once a month and talk about all kinds of wonderful things that you folks bring to the table with your questions. So before we get started, I'd like to just take a couple of minutes to make some announcements of my own and also to review the rules of our evening for this next hour. Here are my announcements. First of all, everyone who's here, if you enjoy the Psychic Hour and want to attend next month, please put May 7th at 9 p.m. on your calendar and you'll join me here next month, May 7th. And also, I'm going to be doing my psychic development levels 5 and 6 and my Seeing Beyond the Veil class live in Tampa on May 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st. Folks, for those of you who want to take a psychic development class, or for that matter, any class with me in person, at least over this next year, this will be the last time I'm doing my psychic development class live in the entire series in Tampa. So if you're going to be in the Tampa, Florida area, or even if you're not and you can travel for that weekend, I really would love to see you there. I'm inviting anyone who wants to come. There is, of course, a charge, and believe me, it's well worth it. It's an absolutely magical time, magical experience. I opened my level 3 and 4 class that I held just this past weekend. We did tools and toys in psychic development, and we introduced channeling and mediumship. And we did have a couple of drop-in students, and everyone had such an amazing time and learned so much. So remember, if you want to study with me and want to do it live in person, this is going to be your last opportunity for quite some time. And I really don't anticipate that I will ever be doing the entire series live again. So if you want to do psychic development with Sandy Anastasi, do it. Get on board now. Go to my website, www.sandyanastasi.com. Sign up before you miss out. I'm also going to be doing Seeing Beyond the Veil that weekend. It'll be on the 19th all day. It's a day and night class. And even if you don't want to do the entire psychic development series, that Seeing Beyond the Veil class is absolutely amazing. Folks, it's about what's on the other side. It's about what happens after you die. And it's just an amazing class. It's both psychic and technical at the same time. And is it religious? No. But believe it or not, by the time you're done with the class, you have found God, that's for sure. So I'm going to highly recommend that if you're in the Tampa area or passing through it or just want to take a little trip, even if you just come for that one day, it is a wonderful class not to be missed. Now, for those of you who really can't travel and do want to study psychic development with me, I will be teaching right here online this summer starting July 5th. And that class has a limited number of people that can enroll. And so if you are interested in studying with me online, I suggest you sign up early because that class is going to fill up. And that starts July 5th. The enrollment form is on my website already, www.sandyanastasi.com. Now, projecting into the future, okay? Don't forget, while you're on my website, to look at my psychic cruise. The deadline for sign up on that is August 1st, which sounds like it's a long way away, but honestly, it's right around the corner. And if you have any psychic abilities of your own and you would like to participate in a psychic fair, we will be holding a psychic fair on that cruise, and you get to be a reader, and yes, you can charge and get paid. So we've cleared that with the cruise line, which is going to be absolutely phenomenal. I'll be doing a messages session on there, and the only way to ever see Sandy doing a messages session is on the cruise, because I don't do them in person. And you also will be able to take a land tour with me, where I'll be leading you through some caves and talking about them and the psychic feelings of them and what's been there, and we're going to have an amazing time. So if you're into cruising and you're into a psychic cruise with all psychic people on the cruise, you just can't afford to miss that. And that'll be from November 25th to December 2nd. One last thing, my reading special, for those of you who want to get a one-on-one reading with me, my reading special, which I always discount, so it's cheaper than my regular readings and very good. The special this month for April is going to focus on the 4 areas in your life right now in this moment where you can expect to be able to achieve literally explosive growth in your evolution and in your physical experience. And why did I plan this reading for this month? Because it's a great way to get people out of those April, early spring doldrums. You know, my original psychology teacher told me that this was suicide month. Why? Because as the spring bursts forth and everybody's feeling like they've got to play catch up, it can be very depressing for some people. So let me get you out of that funk with my reading special this month and show you the 4 areas that you are just poised to explode in your life into your next level. So without any further ado, we're going to get started. And here are the basic rules. My assistant, Lisa, is in the chat room. She will be glad to answer any questions that you have. You can put them in the question section and she'll answer them for you if she has that information. If she sees a lot of people who are asking similar questions, she will come on and she'll actually pose that question so that I can kind of answer either one question or a lot of questions at the same time. That's particularly good for people who are shy and don't want to talk online. Those of you who aren't so shy, if you want to ask me a question, please raise your hand. I see a lot of them raised already. And so if there's a hand raised, Lisa will call on those. She'll usually call on them in order that they were raised, but also she'll look for people who haven't been on this seminar before so that she'll be able to give new people a chance to participate first. Now, when you get called on, here's what I want from you. I want your name, okay? And if you will tell me where you're calling from, because that's always fun. Folks, we get people from all over the world. You know, some people on here will be from Australia, and they're up in the middle of the night to hear this. So it's always fun to find out where they're from. And also, please tell us what you're most grateful for in your life right now and what your sun sign is. And then I'll be able to actually start giving you some information just based on your sun sign, using this chart that you're seeing here on your screen, which is called a horary chart. And everyone who's on the call this evening will have your questions answered in this chart. That's the beauty of doing horary astrology, which I'm kind of introducing you folks to along the way. So once again, your name, where you're from, what you're most grateful for, and your sun sign. And then I'll give you a chance to ask your specific question. Lisa, have you got a first caller lined up for me?
I do, but first, Sandy, it says that the attendees are still on hold.
Oh, dear.
I'm getting a lot of people saying they can't hear you.
Oh, my. Okay, so let me go back over all that stuff, and we're about 10 minutes over, so I'm going to go 10 minutes over with everyone. Okay, here we go.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey, folks, I want to apologize for that delay. I forgot to press the start broadcast button, so we've been recording with no sound for the last 10 minutes. So my apologies. And I'm going to start from the beginning. So, folks, let's just say that starting 10 minutes late gave at least another 10 or 15 people time to get on this call. So, and I will go a little bit later, just so that you have that full hour that I promised you. So you're not going to miss anything. And folks, before we get started, I do have some announcements I'd like to make, so just bear with me. I'll go through them quickly. Please, on your calendar, put the psychic hour for next month is May 7th at 9 p.m. So make a note of that so you can join with me again next month. And remember, the psychic hours are always free, so there's no charge. You just have to make sure you get here early so that there's space for you. My second announcement, I just finished a wonderful psychic development weekend last weekend, levels 3 and 4. Level 3 was tools and toys, and level 4, I see a lot of you on the call. In fact, I'm recognizing names. Level 4 was an introduction to channeling and mediumship. We had an amazing time. And folks, we did have a few drop-in students. I had invited people to come, of course, for the charge of the day. But everyone who joined in had this wonderful time, wonderful experience. And so I'm going to do the same thing with the class coming up in May. I have my last psychic development class that I'm ever going to be doing live of the entire series. It's levels 5 and 6. Level 5 is it's practicing of mediumship. Level 6 is healing through mediumship, using it to heal people on both sides of the veil. And I'm also teaching Seeing Beyond the Veil that weekend. It's May 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st. Seeing Beyond the Veil is going to be on the 19th. It's all day and evening, and it really is about what's on the other side. And it gives you the scientific, the technical, the religious, the what happens after death, what you encounter out there. It's information about your guides and your higher self. And even if you can only attend one day of that class, if you're passing through the Tampa, Florida area, it is not to be missed. Okay, so go on my website, www.sandyanastasi.com. And on my website, you're going to be able to register for any day or all of the days of that event. And like I said, I'm opening it to the general public, especially since it's the last time that you're going to be able to study this class live with me. Now, those of you who actually can't travel, you're on the other side of the planet, and you still want to study with me, I will be teaching my entire psychic development series from 1 through 6 this summer and fall. And that series begins on July 5th. So if you want to study that, write it on your calendar, and you can go to my website, www.sandyanastasi.com, and register. Again, get into that class early because it will fill up. Attendance is limited because I'm working so closely with people in that class. One other thing you're going to want to put on your calendar is the Psychic Cruise. That'll be from November 25th through December 2nd. And there will be so much going on in that cruise. There'll be a psychic fair. And if you have reading skills, you're invited to participate and you will get paid. And so how often do you get to go on a cruise and actually make some money? So that's a really interesting thing to do. It's wonderful. The cruise line is supporting that with us. I'll also be taking people on a land tour through some caves. We're going to do a psychic exploration. And I will be doing a very rare messages session myself on the cruise. I do not do them live on land, but I do them on the cruise. So if you want to see me do one of those messages sessions, where I speak with your guides and your deceased loved ones, well, that would happen on that cruise as well. One last announcement. Those of you who want to get a one-on-one reading with me and are looking for a special price, every month I offer a reading special, and it is a discounted price. And this month's reading special is all about the 4 areas that you are able to experience explosive growth in your life right now, starting now. I offered this month because April, as many of you know, is fondly termed Suicide Month because so many people tend to get depressed at this time of year. So this is a way to get undepressed and get really excited about life again. So if that's where you're at and you'd like that little oomph and help and direction, take that reading with me. You will be glad you did. Here are some rules for our session this evening. If you have not done this before, you're going to want to listen closely. Lisa, my assistant, is in the chat room, and if you have a question and you go down where it says questions on the bottom, you can type your question in, and Lisa will answer some of those questions that she can answer herself. The ones she can't answer directly, Or if there are a lot of the same question, she'll forward through to me and she will read those questions off. So if you're shy and you're afraid to ask a question, that's one way of asking your question and getting it answered here online. You're going to find that even though your particular question might not get answered, you should still pay attention, because my guides have a way of connecting with everyone who's on the call. And even though I'm not speaking directly to you, through my answers to someone else, they will be answering you. So you're going to be amazed if you pay attention how much that happens. Now, those of you who are in the mode to ask your question verbally, please raise your hand. Lisa will call on those people who are new first, who haven't had a chance to have a question in the past, and she'll do the questions pretty much in the order that you've raised your hand. When you're called, please tell us your name. It only has to be your first name, but tell us your name. Tell us where you're calling from. That's so much fun to find out, because people are calling from all over the world. Also, tell us your sun sign, because just from that and using this horary chart you see here on your screen, I can give you so much additional information. And then ask your specific question. Okay, I'm inviting you to ask any question you like, and you're going to be amazed at how many of you have similar questions. There are always themes in these sessions. It's just so much fun. So welcome, everyone. I'm so grateful to see you here, and I want to thank Lisa for coming on and telling me to put the sound on. And Lisa, now that we are on and everybody can hear me, please give me my first caller.
All righty. The first one out of the gate tonight is going to be Diane. Diane, you are unmuted.
Hello.
Hello, Diane.
It's nice to be here again. Thank you for choosing me.
You're welcome.
My name's Diane. I'm from McHenry, Illinois. I'm a Libra. And my question is strange, because I had this dream last night that I thought was really bizarre. I don't know if you want to hear it or not. I just was wondering, because I don't understand it. And I thought there must be a message in it because of the way that I remember it. And I thought maybe you might have a message for me.
Are you going to tell us your dream, or do you just want the information I'm getting from my guides?
It was just kind of strange. I went to a doctor, and she told me that I had listeria, and she had a very grave look on her face. And for some strange reason, her daughter was there with us. And the whole time I was there, I was like, why is this child here? And then I had to go for a checkup with her and bring my mother. And so my mother and I went there. And again, we sat with her daughter. And the only thing she could tell me that would help me, and I didn't know what listeria was in the dream. And even when I actually remembered it, I was like, I know that word, but I had to look it up. And so then she said, well, the only thing you can take is unflavored antacid tablets, chewables. And that's all I can do for you. But she said it like it was a very grave situation.
Well, I don't know about the dream, although I'll try and tie it in. Here you are in this 12th house in this horary chart. This is Libra, and there's Jupiter. So there's your dream, because Jupiter rules dreams and the 12th house rules the unconscious mind. So it really fits in for you right now. It's interesting that in your dream you had your mother and you had your daughter and you had her daughter, because that's all about family. And in this chart, we're looking at all four of the cardinal signs. That's Libra, folks pay attention, Aries, Cancer, and Capricorn, okay? And the cardinal signs usually do have to do with things having to do with family and family activities, as well as relationships and personal things that we have to do and stand up for ourselves. And in this particular chart right now, tonight, because the moon's in Cancer, there is a grand cross in those cardinal signs, which usually means that you cardinal sign people, the Libras and Cancers and Aries and Capricorns, are feeling a little bit, kind of compressed and explosive right now. Like you need to get something done, but you don't know what it is. There's this feeling of being held back. Luckily, the moon moves through a sign every 2.5 days. So in about 2 days, that feeling is going to go away. Okay? And give me one moment, because I'm getting notices that my poor Lisa, she's really having a problem with me this evening because my computer's about to go off. There we go. Thank you. We almost lost the computer too, Lisa. I'm having a night. Okay? So thanks to the computer, this time it notified me. Usually Lisa psychs in on that and tells me. But the computer's now plugged in. So, folks, here we are with this feeling of pressure, dealing with family issues that are under pressure. The moon moves on in about 2 days, and all of a sudden, there's going to be this explosive energy of getting out of whatever that family pressure is, okay? So either you're going to be traveling, or you're going to be planning a trip, or you're going to be planning to go and visit someone, perhaps you have that mother or daughter, but there's this feeling of relief that's happening in about 2 days from now relative to the family pressures that are around you. Now, looking at the health issues that are going on, this is kind of interesting because I wasn't sure if you were saying wisteria or hysteria, but if it was hysteria, Freud, the psychologist, talks about hysteria as being linked to female organs, okay? And this particular pattern in the chart relative to you also does talk about female complaints. And here you have the mother and the daughters involved in this, so it feels like there's a family issue going on here, not just your own. So it could be serious relative to family, like everybody might have the same issue that needs to be taken care of. And one of the nice things is that in the dream you actually did get a prescription for a treatment. You got told that this is something which can be handled and taken care of. Now, when I look at my cards, what my guides are telling me is they're saying you've been feeling as if you've been fighting a losing battle with something having to do with a relationship. Now, whether that's yours or your daughter's relationship or a friend's who's close to you, but you've been feeling like you have to walk away from this situation because obviously you can't fix it, and so you've got to remove yourself from it. So are you perhaps having some emotional or physiological issues because of stress, having to deal with these issues concerning a family or close friend? Okay, did that help?
Yes, a little bit. I mean, I understand that. I don't know that I'm trying to correlate it to the dream. And it was the Legionnaire's kind of listeria, the flu thing,
Okay.
like from food poisoning thing.
If it's flu, okay, I'm still going to be relating it to, I'm still not quite hearing you, but I hear flu, okay?
Food poisoning.
Okay, oh, food poisoning, not flu.
Yeah,
Food poisoning.
right.
Okay, so moon is stomach, okay? So we're still relating it, female organs, which could be involved too, pay attention to that, and sensitive stomach issues, okay? And again, I'm going to go back and relate it to the entire family and to nervous stress, that it's not just food poisoning. There's more than that involved. Okay?
Okay.
Now, what that would say, obviously you don't have food poisoning right now, you see? But yes. I would say that the dream is giving you a warning that you or somebody close, probably a female, has to pay attention to their diet and the stress levels in their life. You know, I do follow dreams. I teach people how to read dreams, okay? And I find that very frequently, as I think in this case, dreams are precognitive. So, you know, all the different women who are appearing in this dream, this tells me that this is a family issue. It's not just a personal issue. So it could be that this is happening to your daughter, or it could be that it's something which is, you know, everybody in the family has the same diet. You know, food poisoning could be literally going out to a restaurant and having food that poisons you, or it could be having a diet that is toxic to you. Do you see?
Yes.
Okay. So now maybe you have a little bit more to go on. Okay?
Yeah, that was wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Glad I got to understand that we were talking about food poisoning. But please
Yeah.
also, because of the way the chart is laid out, please also pay attention to the potential of female problems as well, and they could also be diet related. Okay?
Okay.
Well, thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
You're welcome. And Lisa, who is our next caller?
All right, the next person that we have, let me scroll down here, is Stephanie G. If I can get her unmuted.
Hello,
It
Stephanie.
does not want to unmute.
Maybe she's muted on her side. That happens. We've been having one of those interesting evenings. It certainly could be.
Stephanie G, can you try to unmute on your end? No, it's not going to happen.
Well, Stephanie, keep trying to get yourself unmuted. Lisa, leave her unmuted. And Stephanie, if you manage to get yourself unmuted, we'll put you back in the cycle here so you can ask your question, okay? Meanwhile, let's go on to the person after Stephanie.
All right, replacement person. All right, I'm going to go up here to Jason. I can't unmute Jason either.
Is it you, Lisa?
Well, I unmuted Diane just fine. Oh,
I think
Jason.
I'm unmuted.
Now he's unmuted.
Okay, am I talking with Stephanie now?
Jason.
Jason.
Jason, okay. Jason, you got unmuted?
Yes, I'm unmuted.
Okay. Okay. Pleasure to meet you.
Yes, nice meeting you. I just listened to it the first time. I think last month was the first time I listened, and I have a friend Susan that she listens every time. So this is only my second time listening, but
Well, cool. I'm glad to have you aboard. So, where are you calling from?
Toledo, Ohio.
Okay, nice place, especially now that the spring is here, huh? Those
Yeah,
flowers are coming up.
yeah,
And
yeah. Oh, leaves are coming out.
yeah, I miss that. I live in Florida, so I miss those bulb plants in the early spring. They're just so beautiful. And what is your sun sign?
A Taurus.
Okay, and obviously you're not an astrologer, but here you are. The seventh house in the chart is the house of relationships, okay? And right now we've got Mars and Mercury going through Taurus. And, you know, the combination of those two planets is very interesting because Mars is energy and Mercury, which actually moves faster than Mars, so Mercury's catching up to Mars here. Mercury's communication. So right now you may find that you or someone close to you is really putting their foot in their mouth frequently. Okay. And
Sure.
and it may be that you're a little bit, you know, your communication is a lot more volatile than usual. So you may just be finding yourself really impatient with the people around you, especially your significant other, whom you expect to know better in every respect.
Sure. Sure.
So thank goodness Mercury moves quickly. And so this transit is really only going to last maybe 2 weeks before the pressure lifts off. Yay.
Oh, great.
Yes. Yeah,
Good.
so hold your temper for 2 weeks.
Okay, I can do that. I can do that. I had a really amazing experience that I wanted to ask your interpretation on if you have
Okay.
time. So I had last fall I had stage 4 medullary cancer that had spread to my liver, and I did have surgery on that. But about 2 weeks after I had had the surgery, 2 or 3 weeks after, it was around, and I had the surgery on the 21st, which was the winter solstice, which I thought was cool. But anyway, I had this true outer body experience where I was told that I was healed. And I actually, I could describe, I don't know how much time you have, but I could describe it in more detail if you want. But it started out as a dream, but then I was visually awake, completely awake, and I could see my spirit out of my body, my purple aura. And it was my own voice talking to me. And I felt, and it told me, it said, look, your spirit doesn't even fit inside your body. And I could see it outside my body floating. And then for just a split second, I was taken to what I think was maybe the source. It was just a place that had a ball of light, and there was complete silence. There was no sound. There was no time. It was really weird because it was just a split second, but I could tell when I was there, there was no time. It was like time was still there. Time didn't exist. Everything was exist. And then I was brought back, and I was told if I start breathing in, the experience would quit. And I wanted to wake up my fiance that was laying beside me, and it said, if my own voice said, if you do that, it'll go away. But I did it anyway. I woke her up, and she literally jumped like 3 feet out of bed because she felt it, the coolness. And she's like, oh, what is that? And then, but I don't know, I just wanted your interpretation, because one amazing thing is, so I was told I was healed, and I believed it, and it was stage 4, and I didn't have chemotherapy or anything. And I just went back to the Mayo Clinic in March, and it's completely healed. I have no traces of it in my liver, no traces of it in my neck. All my numbers were better than before I ever had surgery. It was amazing. I just wanted your interpretation on that.
Well, my first interpretation is, yay, hooray, congratulations, and thank you so much for sharing that with us this evening. And
thank you.
Obviously, we know exactly what you have to be most grateful for this evening.
Yes.
And honestly, you're going to really find fault with what I'm about to say, but I don't have an interpretation for that. That doesn't need to be interpreted. What you experienced was real.
Yeah, it felt, in fact, when I used to retell the story, like the first 6 times I retold it, I actually could not stop crying. Like the emotion was still so strong of that experience, and it truly was life-changing. But I would just start crying when I was telling the story because it was so amazing and powerful.
And I want to thank you so much for sharing that. That was extra special. And I guarantee you there is someone on this call this evening who needed to hear that. Okay?
Well,
thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
That's the way these calls work. We come together, and I give my interpretations and psychic insights, but all of you share your knowledge and your experiences, and you help one another. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you.
And I will not, I won't give you any interpretation, because in my experience, and I said I was teaching Seeing Beyond the Veil in May, and these are some of the things I teach. Okay. I've been to that space of no time. I've been to that space of brilliant oneness and ball of light and pure being. I've been to that space where I hear my guide's voice as my own voice. I've been to that place of inner stillness. It's real, okay? I've been there.
It's amazing.
I've been there. It's real. And I haven't been there because I was out of body because I died. I've been there because I am a meditator and an astral traveler, and it is possible to attain that state while you are still alive and breathing. You need to know that. I also have had I've been blessed in my life. I've had many people that I have as clients and that I also know personally who have had miraculous experiences such as you described, where cancers are here 1 minute and gone the next. Or an illness which should have kept them in a wheelchair for life didn't, with their normal lives. Okay, so I'm so lucky in that I have seen this kind of healing. And one of the things I want to share with you is that, and with everyone here, to achieve healing on that level requires your moving into the part of you that isn't ill, because we all have that vibration of perfect health within us. So it requires us moving into that vibration of perfect health and staying there and not going back to where the dis-ease was. Okay?
Correct.
When we can change and alter our vibration and keep it there, we can achieve health. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
That opportunity to tell you that, and to tell everyone here that, no, it's not your imagination. It is real. Now, write a book.
Well, thank you very much. All right. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. You bet. Bye.
And who's next on our long list of people, Lisa?
Alrighty. Excuse me. Next person that we're going to call on is going to be Nadia. Nadia, you're unmuted.
Oh, hi.
Hello, Nadia.
Hello. I wasn't expecting me to be next.
It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to speak to you. I'm from Argentina, from Buenos Aires.
That's
And
a long way away.
It's a long way, yeah. I know. And this is my first time, and I've been following you for a couple of months. And I'm Scorpio.
Uh-huh.
And I have two questions. One is longer than the other. The second one is not necessarily something that needs an answer, but just like a check. My first question has to do with the fact that I am sensitive and I receive a little bit of information. I can sometimes hear voices and I know things, but it's just a little bit. And I've been all my life encountering people that tells me and shares with me information, Buddhist and then people who are psychic. And I'm always interested in this type of new knowledge that is coming. But what I've been finding, or what I've been feeling, is that I don't have a guide. I don't have a master, and everything that I get, all this information, is really messy, and I can't figure out how to concentrate it or make it more focused so I can use it and I can learn how to use this little ability.
Well, first of all, very few people are really able to be self-taught in this area. Could you mute your mic so we don't get the feedback online and feeding back on each other? Just for a few moments, mute that mic. Okay, very few people are able to be self-taught in the psychic area. It isn't an easy thing. Now, everyone is born with psychic skills and psychic ability. We all have it. Only for most of us, it's exactly as you're describing for yourself. It's not really controllable. It's hit or miss. It's confusing. It's kind of like a puzzle that doesn't make sense. You know you're getting something, but you don't know what to do with it. And this is why it is a great idea to either find someone locally where you live who is a psychic development teacher that has a reputability to them, you know that they're real. And if you can't do that, then come online this summer and study with me, okay? Or take my online classes that are available as audio or video downloads and do it as a self-study at home, and then get the coaching with my assistant, Lisa. We make this available for people like yourself who have to make sense of it and are having difficulty. It is so much easier to learn and to develop and to have control over your abilities if you have a guide. So the question that you're asking is a question that almost everyone in the world who wants to study and develop their psychic skills asks. Myself, I have to say that life was my teacher, but it wasn't just life. Early on, I began, because I'm a dreamer, I'm an astral traveler, I began to go to school on the other planes. So I had education too. It just wasn't from physical people. It was from people on the other planes. John Edward, one of the people that studied with me just long enough to be able to get control over his skills and then go out and become one of the most famous psychic mediums in the world. You yourself, I can tell you, you have very good psychic ability. You don't have a lot of faith in yourself, but with the control and the development of faith in yourself, you would be able to probably earn a living at being a psychic, being a life coach, using psychic skills. So this is an area that would be very, very good for you to actively study. Now, the thing to do is to actually step forward and make the commitment to do that, because it really does take a huge commitment to say, yes, I want to commit to getting control of my abilities. I no longer want them to control me. So go ahead and unmute, and if you want to give me feedback or ask your next question, I'll welcome that.
Okay, thank you so much for that, because I now I know that it's not only me that is not having like a path to go through. It's just everybody gets this messy thing. So I guess maybe just the intent of controlling it and being able to use it will guide me to some place, I guess.
My first suggestion is teach yourself meditation. That's the place it has to start.
Okay, yeah. That, I've been told that a lot. In my mind, it goes really fast, and I've tried it, and it's hard, but I have the will, and I want it. And I have this second question, which is a shorter one.
Okay.
I just came back from vacations. I went to Mexico, which was amazing. I haven't been on vacation for like 6 years. So my mind could actually shut up for a second. And I saw myself traveling around the world, or somewhat. I found that Argentina is not my home, that I don't feel at home, and I'm like have this urge to find home. But at the same time, my ex-boyfriend is coming back and offering me the world. And he's my ex-boyfriend for a reason. And at this moment, I have this decision to make, which is leave him and go and find my place in my mind, in the world or whatever, or staying and helping him to grow, which was what I was doing when I was with him. So I don't know if astrologically I'm in the middle of two.
First, you actually raised a lot of questions there. First of all, we don't ever stay with someone and help them to grow. What we do when we do that is we enable them. That's not helping, that's enabling. Okay? You probably helped him to grow more by leaving him than you did by staying with him.
You're right. Actually, you're right.
So when you make a decision, put that in your mind. Because he's not asking you to come back and help him. He's asking you to come back and enable him some more. Okay.
That's the answer I was looking for. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's the exact answer that I needed.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And good luck with everything. You have a great, brilliant life in front of you. And you don't need to be somebody's crutch to achieve it on your own. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And Lisa, who is our next caller?
Alrighty, our next person is going to be Marcia Lynn. If I can get her unmuted. Marcia, can you unmute yourself on your end? Oh, there we go. I got it.
Hi, Sam.
Hi.
Thank you very much for taking my call. Actually, I'm on the path. I just completed a class. I also purchased all of your class, which I've been reading and enjoying very, very much. I guess my only question is, I'm Sagittarius, for another thing, and I'm kind of at a point of, how do I go forward? I love what's happening for me. I love the connection with my guides. I just would like to know what you see in the future for me. I kind of see something for myself, but.
Well, first off, if you'll notice in the chart here, you are one of those mutable signs, okay? You are a Sagittarian, which is here in the second house in this chart. And right now, Saturn is has been going through, in fact, Sagittarius for about the last 2.5 years. It has until the end of this year, 2017, to finally get through Sagittarius. So this next, 6 or 8 months is really going to be interesting for you. There are a lot of responsibilities around you that you may have dealt with, but they're going to come back so you can take a second look. There are a lot of things you've changed in your life over the last 2 years. You're going to have a chance to rethink them and be sure about them. You're also experiencing what we call a T-square because your sun sign is making a hard aspect, a 90-degree aspect to both the Virgo sign and also all those planets in Pisces. So you've got this Virgo Pisces with the nodes. So, your thing right now is that you've got to think about money and finances. You've got to speak up about how you feel about things. You've got to set boundaries about what your expectations are in the area of finance and business and work and career, especially relative to a partner or perhaps your significant other, somebody close to you. But those boundaries are really important if you're going to be able to achieve the goals that you've worked so hard to move towards over the last 2 years. Okay? So that gives you kind of a timeline and a big overview of what's going on. Now, specifically, you have got a bunch of directions right now that you can go. And, you're having a hard time moving on. There's a separation, a divorce, a loss, something like that behind you in the not too distant past. And, you're knowing it's time to move on, but you're afraid to take that step because you're afraid that some ties are going to be totally severed. And, you're afraid that you're not really ready to do that yet. I wish I could give you the answer to that, but I can't. The only way you can really be clear about that is to go into yourself, just like my last caller did, and really make your own mind up. Do you feel that it's ready to make these last changes? You've been working towards it. You've been moving towards it. But unless you take that final step, you aren't going to achieve that goal. So what do you really want? And this next 6 to 8 months is going to be when you have to make those final decisions. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult because there are going to be a lot of old relationships and there are going to be a lot of people in your life situation that do not take that next step with you. Does that make sense? I know it's
Actually, I've been divorced for 5 years. I moved from New England to Georgia to free myself so I'm able to go into this next stage. I've got to I'm kind of free of everybody. That's been kind of on my path. I just
And I want to show you something here. I pulled this card for you. This card is the 5 of Cups in the tarot, and it is the card of divorce. And there it is, 5 years ago. The thing is that you've been working through this, and even more so over that last 2 years. But in this next 6 to 8 months, it's really going to be done. And now that could even mean that it may be that it's time to step forward into that new life and take that next chance. But that's kind of scary, isn't it?
Yes, that's why I'm working more on my psychic development and building my career in that direction. I'm very afraid of that next step.
Yeah, but honestly, you can come back and tell me about it, but based on the astrology, by the end of 2017, you are going to finally really be divorced, which means you're going to have met somebody else. Yay!
That's great.
Come back and tell me about that.
Will my career have taken off by then? That's what I need to.
And now I'm pulling the Hanged Man right side up, which says yes. And it's interesting because that also tells me that the biggest problem you're having in your career right now, and I identify with this. So many of us who enter the psychic field are fixers. We're enablers. We're the people who, we don't just want to tell our clients what's going on. We want to make them do it. We want to push them into doing it. We want to fix them. We want to make their lives whole and happy. And, as a real, true blue psychic, you can't do that because you have to remain uninvolved. Otherwise, you can't give accurate information.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. I do understand.
You understand it with your mind, but not with your heart. Not yet. You're getting there.
I'd love to be able to study with you. I hope that my opportunity comes sometime soon.
Yes, yeah. And honestly, I feel like by the end of this year, everything is breaking for you. All of these things, what you've been doing is setting a foundation. You've been setting a foundation to have a new relationship in your life. You've been setting a foundation to have a new set of friends, to have shifted your whole relationship with your family. You're setting this foundation to be able to move out of one career and into another, and to be able to do it without sacrifice. You're creating this foundation to build a clientele that will actually stick with you as you move forward. But it's going to take you until the end of this year until you're really feeling comfortable with that.
Well, I appreciate that very, very much.
You're very welcome. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Sandy.
You're welcome. And Lisa, who is our next caller?
Alrighty, our next person is going to be Becky. Becky, you are unmuted.
Hi, Sandy. Thank you so much for taking my call. It's the first time that I've been able to speak to you, so I'm super excited. So my name is Becky. I'm calling from Austin, Texas. I am a Libra, and before I ask my question, I just wanted to tell you that I signed up for the Psychic Cruise, and I'm thrilled.
So I can't wait to meet you. It's going to be
it'll be very fun. So my question is a little bit general. It's about my career path. Currently, the company that I work for is pretty unstable at the moment. I'm not sure to the degree of stability, like instability, but I feel like maybe my life is going to go in a new direction, and I really have no idea. I'm very peaceful with that idea, but I'm not sure where that's going to go. So I just kind of am looking for an overview.
Well, first off, right here, as a Libra, we're dealing with that cardinal. If you look at my cursor, we're dealing with that cardinal cross again. And in the house of work, now this is what you do for your work. You've got Uranus and Sun, which that tells me about the instability of the company. In fact, it tells me that probably somewhere over the next 2 weeks, there's going to be some explosive stuff going on there, and you're going to find out just how unstable it is. So it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to have some alternative, career options lined up. Meanwhile, if we look at your 10th house here, this is the house of career. Here's your direct question for everybody here, by the way. For all of you, the 10th house has Leo, how the world wants to see me, and Virgo in the North Node. I want to be of service. I want to do something that's going to make a difference in the world. But it's opposing the Neptune, Chiron, Venus, the South Node. So, you're wanting to do something where you can help, be of service, where you can either work from home or close to home, where you can be creative, where you can do something where your work has meaning, okay? And isn't it interesting that I'm sure everyone on this call this evening is feeling the exact same way, because this is the chart for all of us, okay? And for you in particular, okay, where you're working right now, you thought you could achieve that, and then you found out you couldn't, probably because of the instability. And looking at where the instability is coming from, it looks as if you're working for a company that initially felt supportive and family oriented, or a family company, and what you're finding is everybody's pulling in a different direction. We have too many different visions. We have too many kings and no soldiers here. Okay, and you thought this was the right place. I don't know if I've given you help. I know that your skills are extremely marketable, and that you really can take them almost anywhere. So what's holding you in this place right now, I think, is your ideology, that you felt that this company had what you wanted, so you were putting your wants and needs with theirs, and now you're feeling like they just are adrift in the water. They don't know what they want. So even though you feel very strongly connected to them, that you want to give them support, you also need to get yourself some backup options. And honestly, I would start doing that right now. I hope that helped.
It did. Thank you so much.
Good. And, keep in touch and let us know how it goes. Relative to the tarot, I've got to tell you that you do have a lot to offer. and that your skills and your abilities are not being noticed. They're not being recognized. And again, I think it's because whatever it was you were promised when you were brought on board got lost in everybody having their own visions and wanting to push themselves forward. But I think you'll do much, much better if you take the skills that you've, developed here and market them elsewhere, because you really, you're well worth the work that you do. Okay, you please give yourself that capability, that recognition. You have a right to charge more than you're getting paid. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And Lisa, who's our next person?
All right, the next person is Bobby, who she just went offline. All right, it's not going to be Bobby. Let's go down here to Jacqueline. Jacqueline, you are unmuted.
Hi, Sandy.
Hey, Jacqueline.
Nice to be with you. I am most grateful tonight for all of the love of my family and friends and health. And my sign is Pisces. And I'm curious about, you were talking earlier about work, and curious about the work that I'm doing. The matters that I'm handling are sort of dwindling down 71% over time, and I would like to know what's happening with my work in the short term right now.
Okay, in the short term, it looks like that work, the pattern is following, and it's consistently dwindling, and it's going to continue to dwindle until eventually there is no work. So again, just like my last caller, you need to be looking at the reality of this situation and saying, okay, my skills are really good and they're very marketable. Now, where can I take them that I'm actually going to be getting the work that I should be getting? And I think for you, you kind of have a little bit of a question in your mind, because you already know that answer that I just gave you, but you've also gotten kind of complacent with where you're at. It's comfortable. So, you can go elsewhere and set the world on fire, but there's also going to be more work involved, and there's going to be more travel involved and commuting and things like that. And so you've got some important decisions to make. But based on what I'm seeing here in the cards and in the chart, you're not ready to roll up the sidewalks in your life yet. Okay. And you are looking for that thing that's going to stir the fires of excitement when you get up in the morning and go to work. And that hasn't been there for a long time. Okay. And it can be there, because whatever it is that you do, you could get paid a lot of money doing it elsewhere. Okay.
Will I be I'm self-employed. So will I continue to be self-employed, but taking my, I'm a lawyer, but I'm a mediator.
Yeah, I could see that. As a matter of fact, I was going to ask you what the legal stuff going on around you was. Are you working for somebody who does divorce cases right now?
No.
You might look into that.
I don't know that would be a good area. That's tough.
I know. I think you could be extremely good at it, and I think there could be a lot of money in there for you, and it could be very exciting.
I have handled a case for somebody that I've taken pro bono that is a very sad situation, dealing with identity theft from an ex-partner, and a nearly successful suicide attempt. We just tried the case 2 weeks ago in the bankruptcy court. We're waiting for the judge's determination, and I'm curious as to how this is all going to turn out for him.
It's interesting. I don't understand anything about the law, but my guides are saying mediation. If it's already been tried, why would they be showing more mediation?
Well, mediation is what I do, and because it was tried in the bankruptcy context, the ex-partner who stole the identity filed for bankruptcy. In that context, our remedy is that we showed the court that fraud was committed so that the bankruptcy could be dismissed without him being able to discharge the debt.
Okay.
We still have civil claims against him for money damages
Oh,
for what he's
that's
and
why
what
I'm
he's
still
stolen.
continuing. Okay. The part you've done so far, your client comes out on top. Okay. But it's not done. There's more mediation. That's what I'm seeing. And that's going to probably, I get it too, probably about 2 more months before that's resolved.
Oh, okay. That's how.
The thing is, though, that if you moved into a different area, and I think the reason I'm seeing the divorce issue is because of this issue we just were talking about, but I also think you're getting insights. You know, you're getting, hey, this could be a new area to go into that could generate more business. Your skills are fabulous. Now, your other question was, will you continue to be self-employed or not? And my guides are showing me this interesting conflict. They're saying yes and no. And what that tells me is that you will probably end up working as an independent contractor for maybe for another attorney, or perhaps for a group of attorneys where you are self-employed but under their umbrella.
It's interesting that you just said divorce and you're still talking mediation, because mediation is my primary area of experience now. It's what I do, 90% of my work. So maybe what you're seeing is divorce mediation as a practice area, which I haven't done. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's exactly what I think my guides are talking about. They're showing a new area. They're showing that the door has been opening with this work you've been doing, which involves divorce, and that you've got a tremendous amount of expertise here, which you're only now just realizing, because all of the other things that you've done, you can bring to this table, okay? And there are a lot of other attorneys out there who are trying to resolve these kinds of cases and don't have the skill and the knowledge or the connections to do it, okay? So you've got a new area to market your skills. But they're also, honestly, they're saying that the self-employment where, like your shingle is in your own home and you don't have any commute, that's probably going to be done if you want to really expand your practice. And you probably are either going to be working with another attorney sharing an office, or working under the umbrella of an attorney group where you're still self-employed, independent contractor, but no longer out of your own home. Did that make sense?
It made so much sense, and this was incredibly helpful. So thank you so much. I so appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Much appreciated. And Lisa, who's our next person? I think I have time for either 2, maybe if they're fast, 3 people more.
Alrighty, we're going to go down here to Megan. Megan, you're unmuted.
Hello, Megan. Are you there? Megan. Megan, do you need to unmute on your own side? Lisa, I think we're going to need to move on to our next person. Megan? Hello? Nope. Who's our next person? Yep.
Oh, move on to the next person. I want to go up and try Bobby one more time because that name is back on. And it's not meant to be because I can't unmute it. Alrighty, we're going to go down to Joanne.
Hello, Joanne.
Actually, we're not.
We've got a whole.
Joanne has left.
Yeah, we've got a whole lot of people.
I'm telling you, this is crazy.
Well, that's why. Yeah.
Alrighty, let's try Vonda.
Hello.
I can't unmute Vonda.
Try
Vonda, can you unmute yourself?
Rhonda, you may be muted on your own side there. Let's try the next person. Who's next on your list?
All righty. All right, Bobby is saying that their mic was off. Let me go back up to Bobby. All right, now you're unmuted,
Hello.
Bobby.
Hi, how are you? Welcome. To my world, I'm grateful. Thank you. I just moved to Florida, and I left my husband 2 years ago, divorced him last year, and he conned me into going to work for him in Florida. He has jobs all over the United States. I wagged the carrot and said, well, I'll pay for your move, but come work for me. So I did like a ding dong, and I feel ill. I just don't even, I mean, he's not being a brat or anything, but I'm just not feeling well being here at all. I just want to get out.
Yeah, because what happened here, and by the way, even I want you to know that even before you answered, I had picked your cards, and they're telling your story. They're exact, okay? This one talks about you being sick and unhappy. This talks about the guy who's not the guy that you want. This is this bad decision you made, the lovers. And here's what the problem is, really, is that he didn't just ask you to come work for him. He wanted wifey back, but didn't want to have to deliver all the real goods for wifey. So, i.e., you get to be mommy, you know? Yeah, this is why you're sick, because your inside says, I know this isn't the right place, or the right situation. That's a better way of putting it. Now, can I perhaps give you a different slant on this that might make you feel a little bit better? And by the way, what is your sun sign?
My sun sign is Gemini, June 19th, 1957, and I was born at 5:03 in the morning.
Yeah, I'm not going to cast your chart here, though. My head isn't.
Okay, that's fine.
But I can find you in this chart. Here you are up here in the 8th house, which is all about money and finance. And, you know, he dangled the carrot that made it seem like, okay, here's security, here's the job I know how to do, here's getting down into a warm climate. And then you come down here and life isn't quite what you expected, because you didn't anticipate that you were going to end up taking care of all those basic needs that didn't involve all the good things. Okay? So here's the thing. Look at it from a more positive point of view, okay? Something in you, call it your subconscious, jumped at the carrot, but didn't just jump at the carrot because you wanted to be back in his space, or because you wanted to be in one of his jobs working for him, or wanted anything even from him materially. Part of you said, it's time to make a change in my life, and this is a good way to get me into the place I can make that change.
That's exactly why I came down, because it's I only work 4 days a week, so the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is where I'm going to spend my time with my studies and meditate. And yes, you're spot on. That's exactly why I came down.
Right. Now here's your challenge, and it is a challenge, because until you develop your new career and your new life and your new friends and all the things that have nothing to do with him or his world, okay, until that time, he's going to keep trying to draw you into his, because he wants mommy, okay? And your challenge is going to be to make it just a job and to give nothing more. And of course, he's going to make you insecure and fearful that if you don't give all the things mommy gives, you might not have security. And what you're going to have to tell yourself is that you don't need him, and you don't need his job. And if he were to fire you tomorrow, you could walk into a better job, so you're really only there until you're ready to leave. And I'm that, okay?
Exactly right. I'm only here just till I'm ready to leave, because, and actually he's being very, very nice, and I was really throwing a lot more carrots because he's terrified that I'm going to leave.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, he's trying to draw you back into his world, not because he wants a wife, but because he wants a mother. Please be clear on that, because you will be tempted to be drawn back into that world. Because
hell no. I'm sorry.
Well, hell no, but because sometimes people stay in things that they don't want, but they're just comfortable, and you'd be amazed at some of the horrible things people can be comfortable with. So don't let yourself be drawn back in, because those carrots can look very attractive, but look at it. I'm in the right place. My soul, my spirit said, I need to go to this area because my future lies here, not because the man that I want to spend my life with is this one, okay? And I think as long as, my guides are telling me you're strong enough to do that. And while you're here, you're going to be able to get your legs back under you. You're going to be able to heal your spirit, heal yourself, and really make life happen again. But keep him out of your personal life. That's the most important thing. Okay?
Where do you see me in a year?
That's always
as far as my my studies and my development, as far as my mediumship.
In a year, if you apply yourself to that and really work with that and keep him out of it, because he will put a monkey wrench in that if he can. Okay?
Yeah.
You're in a year, you can be self-supportive doing what you do because you're good at it. But I've got to tell you that if you make the wrong decisions, if you let him get into your personal life, and if you let him have an impact on what you're doing to create your freedom as an individual, you are going to end up being very unhappy. You're going to have your heart broken again, and you're going to look back at it and say, I made the wrong decision again. Okay? So, yeah. And I'm hearing you feeling sick, and I'm hearing you feeling, and guess what?
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So, you're going to get a copy of this recording, save it, and when those hard times come, you replay this, okay? Because you have the ability to be self-supportive, to be independent, to be happy, to make life happen on your own, and he doesn't need to have any part of that, okay? Good luck to you. And Lisa, I've got time for one more person.
All righty. I'm going to hurry on down to Vonda because I think maybe we have this figured out. Vonda, you're unmuted.
Hello, Rhonda.
Vonda.
Oh, Vonda. Vonda.
Vonda.
Nope. Didn't work.
Oh, I can hear her.
Can you turn your sound up, Vonda? Turn it up higher. I'm hearing baby.
Hello.
Hello, Vonda.
Hi. I'm so sorry.
Vonda, where are you calling from and what is your sign?
I am
Oh, you just muted yourself.
Illinois and I'm an Aquarius.
Okay, here we go. So here you are down here.
Can you hear me?
I can now. Don't touch anything. I can hear you. Just don't touch anything. You're
okay. Thank you.
And what are you most grateful for right now?
My family. I have 5 beautiful boys and a husband that I couldn't love more, so
Awesome.
I don't really need much else, I'll be honest.
What's your question?
Right now, I am the sole provider for my family, and you actually answered, I feel like you answered part of what I was talking about with the company that I'm with now with a previous caller, but I recently started a different journey, kind of investing into a different company, and I'm wondering where you see that going.
Initially, it's going to be slow, okay? Okay. And you're going to need to really work hard to create balance. And initially, it's going to be difficult. You're going to feel like you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's that kind of thing. Yeah. And you're going to really be frustrated because you want to leave the one in order to go to the other, and you can't tell the other one about the first one. Okay, you've got to keep it quiet. So there's going to be a real juggling act. But I can tell you that if you really keep it up, probably in about 12 to 14 months, if you can hang on that long, okay, things are going to level out, and the scales will rebalance the other direction. You'll still do a little bit of work for the one, but the other is going to be where you're getting your income from. And I don't feel you're going to be the sole support anymore. I feel like there's a second income coming in there, okay?
Oh, okay.
And it's going to make life a whole lot easier. That's about 14 months from now. This card's coming up. This is a card of balance and healing. You see that? And it also says that you're feeling very whole and healthy inside of yourself as a result. But, it's going to be a little bit rough because you've got to not tell, the one investment, you can't tell them what you're doing with the other time investment.
Right.
See?
Right.
That's extremely important, and it's going to be very difficult sometimes to keep that, hidden, but if for whatever reason it's important for you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good
Yes,
luck.
no, that's pretty well it. Thank you. I really appreciate you taking my call, and thank you, Lisa, for hanging in there.
I think that's wonderful. See, it was meant to be. Thank you. And folks, that's it for this evening. I just want to tell everyone that has actually been on the call, if you did not receive a reading from me, what I usually tell people is I will give you an opportunity to send one question, just one, not a whole string of them, but one question to me. The email is on the site, or you can send it to Lisa at Lisa Essa Inc. At AOL.com. And either one of those will get that email to me, and either Lisa or I will be glad to give you a short answer to that one question. Okay, and that's just because I love you guys so much, and I'm so grateful that you come and that you hung in there, even though I didn't get the sound on for the first 10 minutes. Thank you so much, and I'll see you, all of you, I hope, next month on May 7th. Good night. Thank you so much for coming.